Ladies and gentlemen, when we launched our app, we were #1 for weeks. Okay? I can say today, like the prodigal son, I did it.
South Africa's radio industry has long been dominated by traditional giants like Metro FM and 5FM. But in the mid-2010s, a bold shift towards digital platforms began to challenge the status quo. Among these innovators was Gareth Cliff, who launched Cliff Central, South Africa's first major digital radio platform. Around the same time, Tbo, popularly known as Tbo Touch Molefe, one of the country's most charismatic radio personalities, decided to venture into the world of digital radio with a vision of creating a platform that would redefine how South Africans consumed radio. Combining cutting-edge technology, star-studded talent, and a premium approach to content, the platform would become Touch HD, was unlike anything the country had seen before. But while its rise was impressive, the challenges it faced proved equally significant. What made Touch HD stand out in a crowded media landscape? And why, despite its promise, did it ultimately struggle to maintain its momentum? Stick around as we uncover the full story behind the rise and fall of one of South Africa's most ambitious digital radio ventures. In 2016, Tbo Touch made waves when he parted ways with Metro FM, where he had been one of the station's most popular radio hosts. Following his suspension and subsequent resignation from the broadcaster, he set his sights on a groundbreaking venture.
We met, we started talking, and we realized there was an energy, and there were ideas, and he was ready to make a move, I was ready to make a move, so we decided we're going to start something new.
Teaming up with Gareth Cliff, the founder of Cliff Central, South Africa's first major online streaming platform and podcast network, Tbo Touch sought to redefine radio in the digital era. Together, they launched Touch Central, an online radio station that combined their unique talents and experiences to offer an uncensored, innovative platform for South African listeners.
Cliff Central, I link with Gareth. I'm like, yo, Gareth, I like what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but I like it.
Yeah,
and
it's revolutionary.
It's revolutionary. You know, we think we can kick it.
It's a streaming music service. It'll be a music radio station featuring the biggest names, the best content, the best music, and whatever our audience tell us they want.
The platform boasted uncensored, unfiltered content aimed at a younger, progressive audience seeking something different from the mainstream. However, the partnership between Tbo Touch and Gareth Cliff came with its challenges.
Touch Central became Touch HD, but I exited quite early there because he had a very different way of managing things to me. And as much as I've always had a personal liking for Touch, I don't necessarily know whether we could have been in business for very long.
As tensions grew, it became clear that their paths were diverging. Though Touch Central was short-lived, it served as the launch pad for two distinct journeys in digital radio.
Probably asking yourself, who is Touch HD? This is one platform where time and space cannot confine any of our listeners. We are the Uber of radio.
Under Tbo Touch's sole leadership, Touch HD was designed to elevate digital radio to new heights, targeting an aspirational audience with premium content and a sleek modern identity.
Trust me, FM and AM, you lost the realest in radio. You might as well migrate to digital, because Touch HD is here to stay.
The launch of Touch HD was a glamorous affair. Hosted at the Shed at Stain City, one of Joburg's most exclusive venues, the event brought together South Africa's media elites, celebrities, and industry insiders, all eager to witness the unveiling of this revolutionary platform. During the evening, Tbo Touch invited Gareth Cliff on stage to thank him for his contribution in bringing the initial vision to life. To support this ambitious rebrand, Tbo Touch invested heavily in state-of-the-art facilities.
I built 12 million rand studios in the middle of Greyston.
Santon.
You can see the stock exchange from my office. I'm coming with that yo, I want to make it bougie.
But it's not Touch HD at the time.
It's Touch HD.
Oh, it's Touch HD now.
I built Touch HD then.
These studios were equipped with cutting-edge technology, aligning with the station's tagline, "Listen to the future." The luxurious setup reflected Tbo Touch's commitment to providing a premium experience for both listeners and content creators alike, setting a new benchmark for radio in South Africa. However, the rebrand also introduced significant challenges. By positioning itself as a premium platform for an affluent audience, Touch HD limited its appeal to a niche market. In a country where FM radio retained the dominant medium and mobile data costs were high, the station faced an uphill battle in converting traditional radio audiences into loyal digital listeners. While its innovation and ambition set it apart, the platform had to grapple with the realities of a market that was not fully ready for its vision. One of Touch HD's biggest draws was its impressive roster of hosts, featuring a mix of seasoned radio veterans and fresh young talent. Tbo Touch himself anchored the station with The Touchdown, an afternoon drive time show that became a flagship program. Initially co-hosted by Kat and later by Lalla Hirayama, the show carried on the legacy of its namesake from Touch's time at Metro FM. Tbo Touch ensured a seamless transition for his devoted audience, solidifying the show's status as a cornerstone of Touch HD. DJ Glen Lewis, a legendary figure in South African radio, hosted the station's morning show called The Expensive Breakfast, bringing decades of experience and a loyal following to the station. Arye Kellman and Rorisang Thandekiso co-hosted the Millennial Watch, a show that explored topics relevant to South Africa's younger generation. Arye also served as the station's creative director. Ntando Duma initially hosted a show called Black Twitter, which tapped into the trends and conversations shaping social media. Dr. Rebecca Malope, South Africa's beloved gospel queen, brought her iconic voice and wisdom to the airwaves with The Healing Zone, a Thursday show that offered listeners a blend of music and inspiration. Touch made it a mission to attract top talent by offering salaries higher than what many hosts earned in their previous roles. Glen Lewis, in particular, became the highest paid talent at the station, reportedly earning a staggering 1.6 million rand per year. This generous approach to compensation reflected Tbo Touch's vision of investing in excellence and creating a platform that valued its contributors. However, as ambitious as the strategy was, it placed significant financial pressure on the station. Despite the impressive lineup and innovative approach, balancing such costs with long-term sustainability became a major challenge for Touch HD.
And one of the big things I learned, Gareth was happy playing in a certain bracket, and he has his formula right. So he knows if my operational expenses are 5 rand, I just gotta make 6 rand to keep it rand.
Yes.
And
Touch
Touch
says,
says, and he's happy.
Safe.
Touch says, I'm Touch. I got this, I got that. I get the best talent. I get all the biggest.
The movement against high data costs has been calling for mobile data to be made affordable to people of all social class and assist with information sharing and education.
A major obstacle for Touch HD was the high cost of mobile data in South Africa, which limited access to digital platforms for many potential listeners. Recognizing this barrier, Tbo Touch and Gareth Cliff joined forces in 2016 to champion the #DataMustFall campaign. The campaign called on telecom companies to lower data costs.
When you compare the cost anywhere in the world, you ask yourself why till this day, South Africa has such unjustifiable high cost of data, when we are clear that digital migration requires people to live on their phones, to live on the data. It's as essential as water, shelter, and food.
While the campaign garnered widespread support, data costs remained high. hindering Touch HD's ability to reach a larger audience.
And you know how the big cell phone networks have such a stranglehold on things. I don't know. We tried to make deals with all of them to make data at least for education purposes. And I think there was a significant win there. That, you know, if you needed to download textbooks or you needed to get audio lessons and things, I think that was something they all came to the party on. But that was only part of what we wanted. We wanted a general reduction in price because poor people in this country cannot afford data.
By the late 2010s, the cracks in Touch HD's ambitious vision began to show, and some of its biggest names, drawn by more stable opportunities elsewhere, left the platform. Even Tbo Touch himself stepped down as the full-time host of The Touchdown, opting to host the show only on Mondays, which further signaled a shift in the station's direction. Competing against both traditional FM radio stations and the emergence of other digital platforms became increasingly difficult for Touch HD. Despite its initial success and groundbreaking innovations, the station struggled to maintain its place in an evolving media landscape. Advertisers hesitant to buy into the platform, despite its innovative features and high-profile lineup, contributed to Touch HD's inability to gain the commercial traction it needed to succeed. By 2020, the station had ceased operations, closing a chapter that once promised to redefine South African radio. What had started as a bold and innovative dream became a cautionary tale of balancing ambition with sustainability. Despite its challenges and eventual closure, Touch HD carved out a significant legacy in South Africa's media landscape. As one of the country's first major digital-first radio platforms, it broke new ground by showcasing the possibilities of online broadcasting, inspiring both creators and competitors to think beyond the confines of FM and embrace innovation. The station may have been ahead of its time, but its efforts helped pave the way for the growing acceptance of digital media platforms. What do you think about Touch HD's legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories about the movers and shakers in South Africa's media and entertainment world. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.